Me and Cole became, before that, we went to the Olympics before that, we became very close. But we became close on some disrespectful shit like.
It's May 2009. While the basketball world is fixated on LeBron James dominating the playoffs in Cleveland, something just as fierce is happening 2,000 miles west in Denver. In the thin Colorado air, a brutal showdown is about to unfold. Two Olympic teammates, two future Hall of Famers, and two alpha competitors are preparing to tear each other apart on basketball's biggest stage.
So the games against Cole on Christmas Day, is that the number one? Like, yo, I played against Black Mamba.
Cole, you knew what you was getting yourself in.
This isn't just Lakers versus Nuggets. It's the story of how Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant turned basketball into a blood sport. How a foundation of mutual respect erupted into all-out warfare. And how one playoff series reshaped everything we thought we knew about championship heart.
I mean, we hugged before the game. He was like,
War.
"It's war."
Yeah.
I said, "It's war. Like, let's get it. Like, it ain't gonna be nothing easy." And I just remember him. He always would tell me, "I'll guard you in the fourth, because they ain't gonna make no calls on me. They ain't gonna call no shit on me in the fourth."
The 2009 Western Conference Finals wasn't supposed to feel personal. The Lakers, with Kobe Bryant locked into his peak championship obsession, entered as the heavy favorites. The Nuggets, fueled by Carmelo Anthony's ruthless scoring, were seen as nothing more than gritty underdogs fresh off upsetting the Hornets. But what nobody anticipated was that this series wasn't just about reaching the finals. It became about pride, ego, and two Olympic teammates learning what real competition looked like when the stakes were highest. As Carmelo later admitted, "That was my moment with Kobe. Before that, we went to the Olympics, got real close, but close on some disrespectful *T. You know Kobe, he going right at your neck."
That was my moment where me and Cole became, before that, we went to the Olympics before that, we became very close. But we became close on some disrespectful shit like Cole. You know Cole, man.
Going at your neck.
He going at your neck. He's saying shit to you, elbowing you. I had my braids back then too, so he touching my hair. I'm like, yo, I don't like what the fuck are you doing?
The Lakers entered the Western Conference Finals like a well-oiled machine. 8 straight wins, Kobe Bryant slicing defenses apart with a cold-blooded 30 a night, reminding everyone why he was the closest thing to Michael Jordan the league had ever seen. Out in Denver, Carmelo Anthony was rewriting his own story. Averaging 26 a game through the first 2 rounds, he silenced every critic who doubted his ability to shine in May. Melo wasn't just scoring, he was imposing his will, finally showing flashes of the generational bucket-getter he was always meant to be. But this series wasn't about stats. It wasn't about efficiency or analytics. It was about legacy. About proving who truly belonged among the greats. Kobe versus Melo. Alpha against alpha. Respect hanging in the balance.
Will this championship be special or just the same doing it without Shaquille?
You know, a lot of people make a lot out of that.
Yeah.
People that don't know what they're talking about make a lot out of that. You know, the truth is he never would have won without me. And we never would have won without Fisher, Robert, Horry, Phil, and everybody else.
Game 1 of the 2009 Western Conference Finals didn't look like basketball. It looked like a duel carved into hardwood. Staples Center was rocking for Kobe, waiting for another masterclass. And he gave it to them. 40 points, a clinic in footwork, mid-range daggers that felt inevitable, drives that bullied through contact, and free throws on command. It was vintage Mamba, the kind of performance that crushed opponents before the series even started. But Carmelo Anthony? He refused to play the role of victim. Melo wasn't intimidated, wasn't deferential. He came to trade blows. Dropping 39 points on ruthless efficiency, he answered every one of Kobe's shots with a dagger of his own. Kobe hit a fadeaway. Melo buried a pull-up over a contest. Kobe slashed to the rim. Melo muscled his way to the line. 4 years, stars had folded under Kobe's glare. The moment he locked in, they shrank. But Melo was different. He smiled at the challenge. He barked back. He embraced the fire. As Charles Barkley said that night, people don't understand. Carmelo's not just talented. He's fearless. And that's what you need against Kobe. This wasn't just Game 1. This was the opening bell of a war.
He is the best scorer. Kevin Durant is second, but the best offensive player in the NBA is Carmelo Anthony.
Game 2 at Staples was something different. Less about points, more about pride. Kobe Bryant, already a master at weaponizing silence, walked straight up to Carmelo Anthony before tip-off. No theatrics. No banter. Just 2 words with that razor-sharp Mamba grin. It's war. If Game 1 was a shootout, Game 2 was trench combat. Melo leaned on his strength, punishing Kobe on the glass, ripping down 4 offensive rebounds in the first half alone, and turning them into buckets and free throws. Every board was a message. I'm here. I'm not moving. But Kobe wasn't just exchanging baskets anymore. He went into full psychological warfare, picking Melo up full court, bumping him on cuts, whispering in his ear, holding the stare an extra second after every whistle. Kobe was probing for cracks, waiting for a moment of frustration, a lapse in focus. The problem: Melo didn't break. He smiled at the contact. He leaned in harder. He kept hitting shots. The Lakers escaped 105-103, but it didn't feel like a victory lap. Staples Center was tense. The Nuggets weren't rattled. Melo wasn't rattled. And for the first time in years, Kobe had found someone who stared straight into the Mamba's eyes and refused to blink.
I mean, we hugged before the game. He was like,
War.
it's war.
Yeah.
By the time the series shifted to Denver, the rivalry wasn't simmering anymore. It was boiling over. Every possession carried venom. Every stare down lingered a second too long. Every whispered word cut deeper than the last. Kenyon Martin would later admit, Kobe said some things that I can't repeat on television. That was Kobe's edge. Before he tested your jumper, he tested your soul. But the surprise wasn't Kobe's fire. It was Melo's response. He didn't bark back. He didn't lose his composure. He just smiled, locked eyes with Kobe, and said the 4 words that defined his entire arc: I've been ready. It wasn't empty bravado. It was conviction. For years, Carmelo Anthony carried the reputation of being a scorer without leadership, a star without the playoff DNA of his peers. But now, standing across from the most merciless assassin of his generation, Melo wasn't shrinking. He was embracing the chaos. For Kobe, that defiance commanded respect, even if it had to be earned in blood. For Melo, it was the chance to prove he wasn't another victim on Kobe's hit list. He wanted to stand as an equal. And as Game 3 tipped off in the thin Colorado air, the Nuggets crowd thundered like they knew what was coming. History wasn't just being played, it was being written in real time.
He's never been out of the best basketball player of all time debate. Never. Because I played against him. I had to guard him. Badass man. The ball in his hand. Competitive as they come. 5 rings. All of it. You can't talk about because he had Shaq. No, fuck it. He got 5 rings, man. And he is who he is. Through our generation of playing, my 15 years of playing basketball, Kobe Bryant was the best basketball player in the National Basketball Association.
That night in Denver, the court felt less like hardwood and more like a battlefield. Every cut was a collision, every screen a war zone, and every whistle carried the weight of survival. The refs looked overwhelmed, like they were officiating chaos rather than basketball. Pride was on the line, and nobody was backing down. Kobe Bryant was relentless. He carved up double teams with fadeaways, stormed the rim like a predator, and barked at the Nuggets bench after every dagger. He finished with 49 points, on the road, in the Western Conference Finals. Performances like that are why his name still echoes in GOAT debates. But what made that night unforgettable wasn't just Kobe's brilliance, it was Carmelo Anthony's response. 34 points, 10 rebounds, attacking the paint like his body was made of steel. Every time Kobe tried to silence Denver, Melo dragged them back into the fight. He refused to be the backdrop to Kobe's masterpiece. That's when the storyline shifted. This wasn't Lakers versus Nuggets. It was Kobe versus Melo. 2 alphas trading blows, 2 wills colliding in real time. Even neutral fans watching could feel it. This was more than basketball, it was personal. George Karl would later admit, I'd never seen Melo that locked in. He wanted Kobe. Every single possession, he wanted Kobe. The Lakers walked out of Denver with the win, but Melo walked out with something that mattered just as much. Kobe's respect, and the world's.
But to see if I was where I was gonna stand at. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, like, we grew, man. And
That night at the Pepsi Center, it felt like the city of Denver itself was playing defense, rebounding, and screaming at the top of its lungs. The crowd wasn't just noise. It was pressure. It was momentum. It was fuel poured straight into Carmelo Anthony's veins. Melo came out possessed. Every pull-up jumper, every bully drive to the rim, every free throw dripped with defiance. By halftime, he'd already stacked 27 points, strutting back on defense with a swagger that said, "I'm not bowing to anybody. Not even Kobe Bryant." And in that moment, the narrative flipped. The Lakers weren't facing a plucky underdog anymore. They were staring down an equal. Maybe even their reflection. Kobe, the man who usually bent the emotional tempo of games to his will, suddenly found himself reacting. Melo was dictating pace, dictating energy, dictating belief. Jeff Van Gundy said it best on the broadcast. This isn't supposed to happen. You don't go shot for shot with Kobe Bryant in the Western Conference Finals. But Melo, he's doing it, and he's doing it fearlessly. For the first time in the series, the invincible Lakers looked human. Kobe still burned with fire, but Denver? Denver had belief. And belief, inside that volcanic arena, was a weapon sharper than any fadeaway dagger. The Nuggets weren't just surviving anymore. They were hunting.
I think I caught cold one time on Christmas.
Yeah, both had 34.
Yeah, but that was a game that was like, this is Christmas in LA.
That was Melo versus Kobe.
Yeah, like I knew that. And he knew that. Yeah, we want to win, but it ain't matter what. I know the stipulations of this game.
Right.
He knows stipulations of this game. Let's go.
And was he
it's
talking
Christmas.
Shit? Like,
everybody's watching. The whole world is watching. I'm shooting this 1,000 times. Like, well, you know what we're here for. Fuck you passing the ball for. Like, so
was he tell you that shit? Like in Italian? Like, yo, like, like all this.
That energy was crazy on Christmas. And you had to be there to really understand.